I'm back. The Real Estate of Life with Kevin Riles, with your boy, Kevin Riles. I know I've been gone. You haven't posted in a couple of weeks. I've had people say that. I know I've been gone. I apologize, but I cannot wait to tell you what's going on today. We're going to talk about 2019 or New Year's goals. So DJ, hit that music, please.
Support for this program comes from the Digital Broadcasting Network, presenting podcasts and web series from everyday people who have an extraordinary passion to make the world a better place.
Hey, welcome back to the Real Estate of Life with Kevin Riles. It's your boy, Kevin Riles, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I am so glad to be back with you. I've been MIA, missing in action. And so you might say, Kevin, I enjoy the Real Estate of Life so much. Why have you been missing in action? I don't understand. You were doing such a good job with consistently posting once a week these awesome informational sessions about real estate, about life, with guests and things of that nature. So what happened? Where have you been? Where have you been lately? Well, this is what happened. I hit a wall. I'm just gonna be, the Real Estate of Life, I always say that I'm very transparent. Just was exhausted, to be honest with you. Exhausted in my podcast life, exhausted in my business life. I had an awesome year. In fact, I'll even confess to you that this is the best, 2018 was the best business year I've ever had in business. And 2018 also was my 20th year in business. So I cannot complain as far as business is concerned, but towards the end of the year, I just kind of hit a wall. And so long story short, after I hit that wall, Mr. Producer would call me and say, hey, are we taping today? Are we taping today? And I would say, yeah. And then I would say, no. And so long story short, this becomes a goal for 2019, which is what we'll talk about here in a second. But long story short, what I realized is that Stephen Covey has a book, a very famous book, millions and millions and millions of copies sold, called 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. And one of those habits is resharpening the saw. And in that particular chapter, he talks about how you must resharpen and refocus and steal away time daily, weekly, during the year to kind of go and just kind of focus on your business and on yourself, not be in your business and within yourself, if that makes sense. And so that's what I had to do. I had to get mental sharp. So took some time off from work towards the end of the year as much as I could. Also, for the first time, and I know this sounds crazy, but this is again going to go towards the 2019 goals that we talk about. I also, for the first time ever, and it's going to be a small thing to some of you guys, I actually put my out of office email on. I put my out of office email on. I know some of y'all are like, what does that mean? For the most part in real estate, most people expect us to be available pretty much all the time, or at least during the week if you do commercial real estate, and very seldomly take vacations. And I very seldomly take vacations. If I do, then I have my phone with me, I have my iPad with me, and I'm still kind of working, but I'm not as plugged in. Well, I literally unplugged and I put my out of office email on, letting people know that I am not in the office. And so I used to be fearful that if I did that I would lose business, or somebody, would want to do some business with me and I couldn't do business with them because they would see that I'm on vacation. But guess what? People waited for me to get back. I got calls when I got back. It's amazing. I'm gonna do like my 15-year-old daughter, for those of you watching on the video. I'm putting my hands up, for those of you not, I'm putting my hands up next to me and I'm doing like my head is exploding, right? Maybe Mr. Producer can do some CGI and make my head explode. But anyway, or some sound effects. But it's amazing that people actually waited for me to come back and understood that I actually took a break. So that was mind blowing. I know that, I'm 45 years old. That should not be a revelation at this point, but when you've been self-employed as long as I have, there's just always like, I can't miss anything. I can't miss anything. And I have to be able to give myself breaks. And so as the thing that's going around Facebook right now is, I don't know who this is helping today, but somebody needs to read this. And so I don't know who I'm helping today, but it's okay to take a vacation. It's okay to take a personal day. So we're taping this on a Friday, the first Friday in January 2019. And I am not in the worldwide studios of channel713.com and the Digital Broadcasting Network. I'm actually at my new home. I'm sitting in my office. of an office condo that I purchased towards the end of the year, right before Thanksgiving, and that we had finally moved in. We don't have anything up on the walls yet, but we finally moved in. And so I was blessed last year to actually create some ownership and invest in a home for Kevin Ross Commercial. And so I'm very proud of that. Not a huge space, but it's mine. And I'm really proud of that. We played a game while we were on vacation. Not a game, we had a conversation, but it kind of made it a game as to kind of what you were proud of in the last year in 2018. And so I'm gonna share some of those things with you real quick. What I was most proud of in 2018 as I prepare to talk about goals of 2019. So in 2018, I was proud of, and even though we started a little bit before 2018, I was really proud of this podcast. Very proud of this podcast. We hit 54 episodes, or 53, 54 episodes, a little bit more than a year's content. We started really in late 2016, but we had a full year of podcasts, and this is something that was on my vision board. For those of you that are watching on my on the video, my screensaver on my phone that I'm putting up now, and I don't know if they'll be able to see this, is my vision board I put together in PowerPoint. I just took, and what a vision board is things that you just want to visualize and accomplish. And so what I did was I took a PowerPoint slide on Microsoft PowerPoint. I had Google on the other side, and I would just search for images of things that I want to accomplish. And podcasts was on my vision board. And so to go from it being on a vision board to doing it on a consistent basis, to getting a lot of comments and compliments about it, just very, very extremely proud of that. I'm also proud of the fact of my business doing really well last year. And that's, not a brag. That's just, we just had a really good year, and I hope to continue and have an even better year this year. Even though I anticipate things slowing down a little bit, but we're gonna do a podcast on the market coming up soon. And then with that being said, I was very proud of the fact that my wife has come aboard full-time in my business to help. And so I've been able to bring her into the business, and we've been able to be blessed enough to manage our finances and things of that nature. So again, I'm very transparent. That has been good for her and her health. It's been great because my wife and I really work well together. I know some of you, I had a friend tell me, I was telling him that, my wife, Cher, she's come home to work, come home from her, she's a speech language pathologist by trade. She came home to work with me and work in the business, and he looked at me and kind of went, ooh, how's that working out? Like it was a bad thing. And I said, it's great. It's awesome. We've been married this year. I've been married 20 years. And so, in fact, we're going to do our vow renewal this year. And so, but the way he reacted was like, man, that got to be messed up. You okay with that? And so I'm thinking, what you got going on at your crib? So anyway, long story short, I'm very proud of that. Very proud of the progress at home that my daughter is making on her passion and goals. She actually has a YouTube channel. So if you're out there on YouTube, search It's Maddie. It's Maddie, M-A-D-I. She's doing videos. She's like a junior Mr. Producer. Very proud of the fact I'm sewing into that. I've invested in equipment for Christmas presents, additional equipment and lighting and things of that nature, because I believe that if your child is interested in something as much as you possibly can, you should sow into it. When my mom back in the day thought I was interested in being an astronaut, she would buy me books on planets and take me to NASA and just things of that nature. So even though I didn't end up being an astronaut, I remember the fact that as much as she financially could, she invested in what I was interested in. So I was very proud of that. Very proud of the businesses that I helped in 2018. One of my larger deals was helping a business expand into the Fort Bend County area here in the Houston area. So I'm extremely proud of that. And then I'm always proud of being a professor at Prairie View A&M University, where last year we had, out of our graduate program, 12 people graduate out of the program just to see what they're doing. So 2018 was a blessed year. 2018 was an awesome year. So what's going on in 2019, right? What's going on in 2019 goals, which is what I want to talk about briefly today. I have goals. I've always had goals. I've always written down my goals. I'm sure some of you have heard of the Harvard study where they had freshmen and asked them what their goals were the freshman year. The essential summary of the study was that the freshmen that wrote down their goals achieved them 80% of the time, and the folks that did not write down their goals achieved them like 40% of the time. The summary being that you should write down your goals. So for those of you watching on video, I have a organizer, and this organizer kind of starts off with your 2019 goals. I started using this particular organizer about a year and a half ago because it's made for real estate brokers and real estate agents. And one of the things that studies have shown is you should have a big three. So you can have, a lot of people write down 15, 20 goals, and that's great. I'm not saying don't do that. But usually from a time and life standpoint, it's hard to get to all of those particular goals. And so what this book forces me to do is, what are my big three? And so in my case, my big three revolve around family, revolve around production as far as my business, and then revolve around something personal for me. So my question to you out there is that, have you written down goals, period? And then what are your big three? What are your big three goals for 2019? So I'll share one with you is, which kind of goes back to what I was just talking about, is learn how to consistently resharpen the saw. I am a type A, I'm a nice type A. I'm not one of those cut your throat type A, but I'm a type A, goal-driven business owner, got to get it, wake up, stay hungry, stay humble type of person, which is nothing wrong with that. It's been successful for me. But I also have to learn how to step back and chill for a second. And chilling doesn't necessarily mean going home exhausted watching a basketball game, which used to be my version of chill. Chill means get away. Chill means go hit some golf balls, even though I'm not really a golf person. Chill means that you might need to do that on a Thursday morning instead of waiting for the weekend. Or chill means going to a sports bar in the middle of the day because you're in real estate and you can really work from anywhere. So at the end of the day, I need to find more opportunities to do that. And as a part of that, one of the things that drives and motivates me is having good relationships. I was telling my wife over the break that I miss my friends, what I mean by that is, those good friends that you've known for either a long time or you just jive with if you haven't known them well, and getting together with them and hanging with them. I'm so always in work mode that's just not something that I do a lot. And then a lot of my good friends also are dispersed around the country because of where I went to school. And so, just trying to, so with those friends, and then also creating new and deepening other relationships. I think that's important to the spirit and the soul. You've heard no man is an island. Everyone needs some level of connection. So that's one of my personal goals for 2019. So I just ask that you, if you're watching this, if you're listening to it, that you really look into what are your goals for. And you don't have to write them down on something as big as what I just showed you. And I used to keep my goals every once in a while on Post-it notes. And just keep them up in front of me. It's just having a somewhat of a reminder. And you don't necessarily have to read them every day. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I showed you my vision board on my phone. I forget it's on there, and then every once in a while it'll catch my eye, and I'll kind of look at it for a second. And that's just kind of constant subconscious reminder of the things that I'm really looking forward to. So 2019 goals, I hope that you are out there thinking about what your goals are. And doing it's not, so the second thing is, one is having goals. Second thing is the action towards those goals. Every day, every week, every month, you should be making at least little tiny steps towards a goal. And so if it's a big, major, huge goal, for instance, if I mentioned that I want more deeper connections, then I need to reach out to people and say, hey man, what's going on? Let's go have lunch. Or, hey, I'm having something at the house. Like little small things like that will help me reach toward those goals. In my business, which I have business goals, is doing the actions that will allow me to get to that level of production that I want to get to. And so I think if you do, in the business sense, do what we call DPAs, dollar productive activities, which is returning phone calls, meeting new people, adding to your database, then you will always be working towards that particular goal. So my goal for the real estate of life in 2019, right before we started taping, Mr. Producer and I sat down, we had a come to Jesus meeting, and Jesus was in the building. And Jesus said, no, I'm just joking. What we talked about was how can we make this bigger, better podcast, and because we've gotten good feedback. And so I need your help in that particular sense. So my 2019 goal is to have a bigger, better, the real estate of life. And however God sees that to be fit, then I'm okay with. I just want it to be much better, reach more people, teach more people, because at the end of the day, my spirit is really a teacher, even though I own a business. And so I need your feedback for that. And so I used to say, hey, send me, your feedback, but I really do implore you to let me know what kind of subjects that you want to talk about. Sometimes I think I come up with great subjects, or Mr. Producer will throw in a subject as well, and we'll do it, and we just think it's the best thing, and we might not get as many downloads as we thought. And so with that being said, really reach out to me. Facebook, Kevin@kevinriles.com is my email address. Our office number is 281-403-3700. If you Google Kevin Riles on the interweb, you can find me one way or another, but I really would love to know what you guys want as far as content is concerned, what you're curious about, so that we can make this better for you, and then by helping you individually, help many other folks. So the other plan I have for the Real Estate of Life for the 2019 is to have more guests. Definitely, I can tell there's a spike in our downloads and interest when we have guests, and so my goal this year is to make sure that we have additional guests that can spread knowledge, or just interesting people that we can talk to about a whole varying amount of things, from real estate, again, to life. And so the other thing, that third goal for our podcast, is that we will be going live on Facebook at least once a month. And so you'll start seeing promotions for that, and that will be a way for you to interact also and ask those questions and give me that feedback. So I'm excited about that as well. And so more guests, I want to have your feedback, and then Facebook Live, making this a bigger, better podcast over time, I think is really important. So I'm really excited about what we have planned for 2019. But what I would love for you to do, if you feel comfortable, is share with me what your 2019 goals are, maybe one goal, and send that to me, Kevin@KevinRiles.com, or on Facebook, Kevin Riles. And again, you can reach me, but that would just let me know, kind of give me a feedback as to kind of what you guys are thinking about in 2019. And as always, if I can be of service in helping you reach those goals, especially as it pertains to real estate, but even outside of that, just from a coaching standpoint, if you need to talk to somebody about your business plan, or I've been in business for a long time, so any way I can help, I would love to help. So I'm excited about 2019. Mr. Producer, who's standing up behind the camera right now in the worldwide headquarters of Kevin Riles Commercial, all 800 square feet of it, is excited about what he's planning for channel713.com and the digital broadcasting network.com. So we got big things popping in 2019. And so I just can't wait for you to be along this journey with us. So with that being said, Happy New Year! And I cannot wait to see what we have planned for 2019. And with that, I will see you again next week. Hey, thanks for listening as always. Do you have questions about any of the topics I'm talking about? If you have questions, let me know. Email me at Kevin@KevinRiles.com. Again, that's Kevin@KevinRiles.com. I'm going to do a podcast just on the questions that you guys are sending me. So feel free to send them to me. Again, that's Kevin@KevinRiles.com.